Greetings, Ranger fans, and welcome to another edition of Database Rangers Power Reviews, where I take a look back at all of our classic episodes of Database Rangers Power Reviews as we count down the 100 weeks until our final episode coming next year. Welcome to everybody already here in the stream. Obviously, we've got a lot of stuff going on with the Power Rangers fandom this weekend, with it being the big Power Morphicon online event. So I'm sure many people are looking forward to that. I know I am. Welcome, El Nero Diablo. Welcome, Jenny. Good to see you both. Oh, it's morning where you are. Wow. But yeah, I know that Power Morphicon is kicking off at, I believe, 10 a.m. Pacific time, which would be 1 p.m. my time, with a bunch of pre-recorded panels and interviews, along with two live toy panels and the big Ninja Storm reunion live from New Zealand on Sunday. So I'm sure everyone will be tuning into the Power Morphicon channel for that. And I know that they're posting a bunch of good merch as well. Welcome, Lex. Good to see you as well. And yeah, I know today they did their pre-show, Scott and Bruno, with the clip of the 12th episode of Dino Fury, which is apparently coming to Netflix as well at some point. I don't know what is happening there. I am intrigued. I assumed that the next batch of episodes was going to be premiering on Nickelodeon, but with whatever's happening with Netflix, I have no idea what's going on at this point. I've only watched episode 9 so far. I haven't watched episodes 10 and 11 because I wanted to finish my script for the rapid run through and the deeper look for episode 9 first before checking out the next episode, so that I could analyze them without the foreknowledge of what the next episodes were going to bring. So I'm a little behind on that front because it's taken me a little while to write the scripts, because obviously doing the whole stay-at-home dad thing right now is keeping me busy. But also on Wednesday, we had a big filming session. One of my actors was back in town after having been out of state for a number of years. So we took care of all of their appearances for the final episodes, along with a couple other actors. So it was a big filming day. We covered scenes from 4 different episodes, including the final episode. So that was exciting. I'm looking forward to continuing to have these kinds of filming days where it's just, we knock out a bunch of scenes and then that character can be basically wrapped for the series. So right now there are 2 characters who've just wrapped for the series, so that's exciting. Other characters have wrapped as well, but I'm just going to keep that rolling to try and get through everyone this summer. Welcome, Hayden. Good to see you. And yes, of course, the trailer for episode 93 came out yesterday, so at the end of June, we will be seeing the 93rd episode of Power Reviews. And I'm looking forward to getting 94 together for this summer as well. Not quite sure exactly how the timing is going to work for 94 and 95, but we are still on track to get all the way up to 96 by the end of the year, making this the first 5 episode year that we've had in a while, so that we can release the final 4 next year. Welcome, Jeremy. Good to see you. So a lot of stuff to be really excited about. The school year is again winding down on my end. I'm still getting in the last of my grades. Was doing extra tutoring with some students who needed help making up stuff at the beginning of the week. Next week I'll be doing the same, along with proctoring of some final exams. But after next week, grades are all in, students are all done. Summer vacation is in full swing. I've got another big filming session planned for next Friday that I'm still coordinating. And obviously I'm also working on trying to finish 93 while doing all that, and getting together the rapid run-throughs and deeper looks. So you can look forward to the rapid run-through and deeper look for episode 9 of Dino Fury being released this Sunday at 8 a.m. And each successive one being the following Sundays at 8 a.m. I'm still trying to get that conversations and context done. I nearly finished the script, and then my computer crashed on me, and I lost half the script. Unfortunately, it's my fault for not saving, but it hurt. I was so exhausted that day. Congratulations, Lex, on getting your video out this month. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with when they're premiering the Gold Ranger or anything else like that when it comes to Dino Fury, but I am looking forward to it. Yeah, and I don't have Disney Plus, so I haven't been keeping up on Owl House as of late. I'm sure I'll find time to get caught up on it. And yeah, so a lot of stuff going on. Trying to keep track of all of it is definitely a challenge. And I will also be appearing. I did get confirmation that I will be appearing in the Worlds Elsewhere Summer Cabaret this July. So I'm working. So right after this live stream is done, I'm actually popping into a rehearsal for that as well. So yeah, I know I wasn't able to get a scripted video out for May, but hoo boy, these next few weeks, I've got so much stuff, you know, just in the pipeline, ready to go and progressing. So making up for lost time, best I can. But yeah, I know I should be pressing Control S every second. It's my bad. But yeah, I don't have cable right now, so I don't have the Disney Channel. I've got Philo instead, because I just wanted something that had Nickelodeon without having to worry about dealing with all the trouble with Spectrum. So that's our extended run-through of everything that's going on right now. Obviously, it has been a busy week, and we've got many busy weeks ahead, but right now we should settle down to business of checking out the next episode of Database Rangers Power Reviews on our list. And before that, as always, are 3 equally non-controversial phrases. Number 1, say it with me, chat, Black Lives Matter. Number 2, say it with me, chat, fascism is bad. And number 3, say it with me, chat, superheroes are fun. Let's take all of those in equal stride to be equally non-controversial. Now, let's kick it off with episode 31 of Database Rangers Power Reviews. Our review of Power Rangers Ninja Storm, episode 30, The Wild Wipeout.
Previously on Power Review.
Welcome to our home. No legal record whatsoever that anyone named Database Ranger.
And of course, I had to, at the beginning of the previously on segment, give us our little nod to the Morpotnzers introduction.
I do not need a co-host.
And again, I do love having the T agents in the background of both of those, of every one of those scenes.
We have a new co-host joining us today. Why don't you introduce yourself, guy?
It's none of your business.
We have a new co-host.
Poor Database. He's trying so hard.
Oh.
I will make sure you have a co-host.
And now, Database Rangers.
And of course, yeah, Mayo had to make sure that he gets a co-host, and who does he get but
Greetings, Ranger fans.
Hi!
the Morpotnzers.
And welcome to Power Reviews. As you can see,
I-
neither Mayo nor Guy could be with us today, so here's our new co-hosts, Mitch and Mary. Why don't you two introduce yourselves? I'm Mitch Morpotnzer.
And I'm Mary.
I love the Morpotnzers so much.
Morpotnzers.
And Database is just so flustered by everything with regards to the Morpotnzers, and it's so much fun.
Very specifically to the PR seasons produced.
This was definitely a little crowded. The couch is not really well designed for 3 people.
We haven't really looked much into how the series fared under the Disney.
But it's also just fun how much the Morpotnzers just kind of roll with everything Database wants to do, while also being super weird about how they do everything.
Originally aired in 2003 as the 11th season of Power Rangers, adapting the 26th installment of Super Sentai Ninku Sentai Hurricane.
And
After Power Rangers
I basically,
Power Force completed production
when they were when they were doing this, I'm just like, please do this as awkward as possible. Like I think Justin even asked me how to properly pronounce the words, and I'm like, don't properly pronounce them.
Sloan and Austin had been producers on the series through Power Rangers Turbo, and they suggested that by moving production to New Zealand, the budget would be significantly reduced.
I love the emphasis on New Zealand as if there was an old Zealand. Because the way that the Morpotnzers function, they have no context for anything. As we learned about them much later in the series, they're heavily trying to recreate what it's like to be human, but don't fully understand how to do so.
Okay, so let's dive right into episode 30 of Power Rangers Ninja Storm, The Wild Wipeout. We start with our opening narration.
And we've also, at this point, heavily, at the much later point we get their backstory, established that they have sort of this synchronized singular mind because they're both possessed by a singular demon. And we will still continue to find out little bits more about the Morpotnzers in the final episodes of the series. We've gotten almost everything with regards to them, but there's still some more details left to go. Also, I wanted them to call the guinea pig every single possible, comparable possible animal, except for a hamster or a guinea pig. Oh, so many shiny colors.
So exciting!
So,
we start off with Tori,
as we've sort of established
I get it.
much later.
Anywho, when she overhears a backhanded compliment from some less than righteous dudes. Not bad.
The Morpotnzers aren't necessarily the DRPR version of Bulk and Skull, but they are intended to be comedic in some of the similar fashion.
Not usually.
And yeah, oh man, it's.
Oh look, fairy dust.
This was, and Scott, I think this was a little bit later than the atop the fourth wall run of trade-in posts. Also, I had so much fun playing Spot the Monster in this episode. Like, it felt like such a database ranger kind of thing, be obsessed with the trivia of spotting all these monsters. And yes, Scott, I do remember. I don't remember the lyrics because it's been too long, but I do remember us doing that a little bit with with Ranger Command Power Hour. That was a lot of fun.
Oh look, she found a car. Good for her. Inside Storm Chargers, she finds Mad Magnet checking out a new bike. Paparoo playing foosball. Magic Mustache shopping for
so much fun spotting the monsters. Oh man, I remember that. I forget sometimes about Kelly. It's been so many years.
I don't think they're the guys she's looking for. What did I tell you about lying down on the job, Sergey? Deciding that it's all too much, she passes super time.
But one of the big things I wanted to make sure that I was doing, because even as far back as this, I knew the trajectory of the Morpotnzers characters. They clearly have a flawed understanding of the world around them, and a big part of that is the car accident that took place just prior to their possession. And so even while they're possessed, they're still a little bit unclear on exactly what they're doing a lot of the time.
Kiki flippy bungee thing.
And
then she runs away. She didn't even say goodbye. Tori decides to
I wanted to make sure that what they were going for was trying to be Database Ranger's friend. They knew that Database Ranger was important. Not necessarily exactly what they were going to be doing to him. Also, I totally forgot that I gave Justin the dirty liberal hippies line. And I mean, that being said, like, my parents were obviously to an extent hippies back in the day. I think that's something that can be easily inferred. Oh my god, I forgot that line was in this. That was the first time I had them say we love puppet shows. And
I love his suit.
I hadn't told Justin and Sarah what their characters are ultimately going to be doing. I just told them that line was going to be more meaningful in the future. And we do get another callback to the puppet show bit later on in episode 44. And it obviously does very well set up their later mind control of Database Ranger with Vengeance through Alphabet Soup.
And although these Power Rangers seem decidedly underpowered, and Tori holds her own for some time, she's ultimately no match.
It's also fun that the Morpotnzers do seem to take such joy in cartoonish violence, which is fitting considering how evil their characters ended up being by the end of year 2. Obviously, they've gotten better, but
is violence supposed to be funny?
There's
sometimes, especially when it's
very over the top.
Round of fisticuffs between Lothar and his delinquent nephew. The assembled alien army cobbles together a space ninja.
Justin and Sarah, who play Mitch and Mary, are just wonderful people.
With the city saved,
Justin is another one of my oldest friends. I've known him since I first started my first year of college. And he and Sarah are just such peas in a pod.
She looks bored. I get it. She wakes up on the beach
and
surrounded by the guys.
I believe Sarah was tremendously actually amused by having the "I get it, it's a joke" line twice in the same episode.
I don't think this works. Before she has a chance to explain where she's been.
They bring so much to the characters. They have so much fun with these characters. I know that I did end up finishing everything with regards to filming for them about 2 years ago now, actually. Just because they couldn't really keep up with filming with their busy lives. And
because that's the way focus episodes work. The monster destroyed. Tori tells Blake all about the other dimension.
They did feel as though it did end up taking up a lot more time than they originally believed.
That's the end of our episode.
But they always brought such joy to the characters, and they always were like 100% there whenever they were, and I loved all of the commitment that they brought to it.
So, what do you think of the episode? We liked it.
And their analysis is so simplistic, it's great.
It was fun. What about the parallel dimension?
This whole shoot was just like trying so hard not to crack up. And Justin and Sarah, for reference, aren't like Power Rangers fans. Like they've seen some of it because of me. So I did really try to play into the idea of characters who don't really know Power Rangers.
This one was definitely tailor-made for ongoing fans of the season, and isn't particularly.
They were actually not originally inspired by Gem and Gemma. That ended up being a total accident, where after we'd already developed the characters, they ended up filling that role very well in a series including Dr. K. Initially, I was trying to find characters that would be good matches for easily recognizable people from the Power Rangers universe. And I was initially thinking maybe sort of an Ernie and Miss Appleby, where they would be translated to the real world as just very, very into hosting. Like, you know, that sort of super nice couple neighbors who were very much into hosting. And I just kind of pushed that farther and farther into a Stepford Wives kind of territory. And
Then nice. But then they beat up the fairy dust monster. And we don't know how to feel about that.
Oh.
Well, you guys don't really understand the whole good versus evil conflict, do you?
And
Which side is Martha Stewart on?
I love that line so much.
I'll try
Which
to
line?
later. Overall, it's hard to really say if this is a good or bad
So
episode.
yes, once I pushed it into that super Stepford Wives, heavily Martha Stewart inspired kind of couple, it kind of transformed the characters away from what I was initially thinking and into something that was vaguely sinister. And once I realized that, I'm like, okay, I want them to be actual villains. And here we get to sort of resolve some of the conflict between Guy and DD.
I just wanted to apologize the other day. You're right. Whatever you do with whatever it is that you do is entirely.
And this was back when my white balance was still really rough. The original.
Like you want to come back and call us the show again?
The original camera, I never really got a good handle on the white balance, unfortunately.
I've actually come by to inform you that I will be moving out soon.
Really?
Indeed. As soon as they have completed installing the final lighting fixture, which admittedly may take some time, I will finally be returning to my
And yes, that was totally me screaming.
That's great.
That was a fun scream.
You'll excuse me. I have other matters to attend to, and it seems as though you have some business to see to yourself.
I really do want to try to find a way to inject more comedy back into the channel. It's back when this was was really more of a comedy show. It really was a lot of fun. I love what the show has evolved into, and I love the story that we've been able to craft across the course of over 90 episodes. But as I know, I brought up plenty of times.
Farewell, Ranger fans, and let the power protect you.
There's certain bits of comedy that really only come from the characters still getting to know each other, as many of them were here. By the time that we get to the later episodes, the characters have gotten to understand each other so much better that the sort of unexpected goofiness of their interactions has sort of fallen by the wayside. Obviously, we're now aiming for more dramatic interactions, more dramatic storytelling. But I just had so much fondness for these characters, especially the Morpotnzers. They were just always so fun to write, because I would just be writing something. I'm like, okay, what's just whatever the first thing that pops into your head is that's silly and just non sequitur. Write that down. That's what they would say, and that's how I keep writing it out. And I would say that Mitch and Mary are similar to Justin and Sarah in that very specific regard of being friends of a Power Rangers fan, and that is their primary exposure to Power Rangers. But Justin and Sarah are far more savvy in their social interactions than the Morpotnzers are. They obviously are not completely in lockstep Stepford people. Justin is just a pun master, and that was sort of how we got to be such good friends, was that we were always making terrible puns, and we sort of bonded over that when we did theater together way back in college. He was actually originally primarily a techie. He would do sound and lighting work, and he was great at it. He's an electrical engineer, very smart, and the first time that he ever actually acted on stage, if I recall correctly, was in a show that I jumped in on, where he was like a German repairman that a bunch of people mistook for a German investor, and then I was the German investor that came in at the end. And so we worked on the German accents together to try and be at least somewhat authentic. Our voices were very silly. And I got to fall down a trapdoor. But ever since then, we've been quite good friends, and we were in the Drama Honor Society together, Alpha Psi Omega. Actually, I have that shirt on right now. Now, with regards to stuff to expect, I can tell you that we won't be seeing the Puppet Man episode of Zeo. That unfortunately will not be one of the remaining episodes of Power Reviews. And as fun as it would be, I don't think that I will be having a Power Reviews episode 101. I may somewhere down the line decide to have some sort of Power Review special, like for some kind of special occasion, but I have nothing specific in mind, like maybe like if I wanted to like review a movie or something like that. But that I would probably try and bring a bit more of the humor back in. That being said, there will be some fun stuff coming up down the line. There will be at least one of the reviews coming up will be something of an unexpected matchup. I'll put it that way. There is a review coming up that, much like this run of episodes that we've just wrapped up with these, with the co-host roulette, will be sort of an unexpected reviewer matchup. And I will not tell you which episode that is coming up, or what the matchup is. I'm just going to give you that little tease that it is coming down the pipeline, and I think that that'll probably be a pretty fun episode. So all that being said, I'm not gonna answer anything with regards to what's coming up outside of what I've already revealed on episode 93. Ooh, if I had to call one episode of DRPR filler, which would it be? Ooh, that is a good question. I mean, it would probably be one of the earliest run of episodes. Something in the first 20. A lot of the first 20, really what you get out of them are more teasers, Easter eggs, and character development with Database and Dr. K. It's the primary stuff you get out of that. But if I had to call one filler, maybe like episode 3 or episode 5, when it's more so just establishing the rules by which the show functions, and not so much setting up ongoing storylines. Like episode episode 1 obviously introduces everything. Episode 2 kind of starts to follow up on that and gives us that little bit of Easter egg with the Wii. Episode 4 obviously is the introduction of Guy and the first big clue that he's the Phantom Ranger. We have episode 6 where he has his whole rant at Samurai, which leads to Dr. K giving him the sedatives in episode 7. Then episode 8 he had the sedatives knock him out, so Dr. K takes over. We have the question over K's existence. Then we have their back and forth over how he feels about the question of whether she exists, the introduction of the Squee, and then the introduction of Mayo, the Morpotnzers, the evolution of Dr. K joining Database on the Couch for reviews, and then pretty much from episode 20 onwards, it's just each episode leading right into the next, with some sort of foreshadowing or some sort of progression happening in every episode. I do need to try and squeeze in some more puns. I will try to see if I can squeeze in more puns. With regards to Sentai and Rider, I've obviously done the Rider logs for X8 and Build. I don't see there being anything by Database Ranger coming up. I feel like I've done everything with Database that I can outside of the context of the story, at least at this time. Like, if I wanted to try and bring something, do something again with the character after the series concludes, I might try something like that. But I try to have everything that I do peripherally with the character that's not like a cameo in some other work to fit within the context of the main series. So like the Ask DB episodes and the Retro Power run-throughs and things like that are all things that felt like they could still fit within the continuity of the series. But once they get in the spaceship, it didn't really feel like it really worked that way anymore, which was unfortunate. Maybe an alternate universe database? I don't know. And yeah, 2 does kind of pick up or 3 does kind of pick up on number 2, because number 2 was the first part of Origins, and number 3 is the second part, so... Yeah, 5 is probably one of the closest to being a filler episode. And that's, back when the show was really just getting started. Because almost any episode you could name, I could tell you something that was either introduced, foreshadowed, or otherwise continued upon or developed in one episode or another. It has been a very long time since there has been any episode of Power Reviews that didn't continue the story forward. Even the 5-part, Summer Saga for Year 2, which was almost felt like a bit of a side adventure to separate from other things. A lot of stuff was set up in that episode that got paid off in the finale of Year 2. With regards to alternate universe database, I would need to think about it. Like, right now, the way the story is going, I feel pretty satisfied with what's going on so far, where it's going to wrap up, and I'm not looking to introduce anything more into the Power Review story at this time. Right now, my focus is on getting to the end. If after everything is done, I feel like there's further exploration I could do with the characters in something like a one-shot or something like that, I might revisit it. But by the time that I finish the show, it will have been 10 years of my life, and I am definitely going to want to try and do some work on other projects. So I may finally be letting the character of Database Ranger get a little bit of a retirement for a while, without giving away anything that's coming in those final episodes. Yeah, I'm gonna have a few comments on episode 9. It definitely does have a few weird things, and yeah, the reveal about Mitch and Mary, that was right after the Vrack is Back 2-parter, because that was when Database got purged of Vengeance, and then in the Emperor Mavro episode was the reveal of the Morpotnzers, which was, for a while, the last episode available, because after 78, I wasn't able to release an episode for another 2 years, which is crazy, and I felt like it really killed the momentum of the show, but I was getting married, I got injured, I got a new teaching job, all within a couple months of each other, and there was just, I couldn't get the year 2 finale out fast enough. There was just too much work in those 2 episodes. And I feel like it delivered pretty well. I don't know if it was worth having to wait 2 years for it, but it definitely, I felt, capped year 2 off very well. Welcome, Opinion Man. Any further reactions are on... Goodbye, Opinion Man. Any further reactions to Toku movies? Live reactions are currently on hold. They're basically done for now, because live reactions require both of us, and we always try to make sure at least one of us is available to take care of RJ. So, at least for the time being, we don't have any plans for future live reactions. But life is constantly evolving, obviously. So maybe in the future. I do have a lot of projects that I'm very interested in exploring. Like, I want to do more analysis of media connections to real-world issues that extends beyond Power Rangers. And I want to try and do more, like, interview-style things like I did for the live stream with Power Rangers alumni. Those are just 2 of the many things that I would like to be able to explore after Power Reviews is finished up. And no, I am not going to be concluding Power Reviews on a cliffhanger. There may be things left open for future stories to continue, but it won't be a cliffhanger. I can tell you that. I am aiming for this to all end on a fairly conclusive note with all major questions answered. Like, I can't promise that I'll answer every question that you had. I can promise I'll probably answer some questions that you didn't have. But it will end on a pretty conclusive note. And you know what? It has now been quite a bit over half an hour now, and I've got some other things to take care of tonight. But thank you all again for joining me, and I'm glad that you've been enjoying these look-backs on Power Reviews. Maybe I'll have to think about it on the I'll have to see about my availability on the podcast. We'll see. But before we leave, as always, our final 3 equally non-controversial phrases, especially important during Pride Month. Number 1, say it with me, chat. Love is love. Number 2, say it with me, chat. Trans rights are human rights. And number 3, say it with me, chat. Robots are cool. Especially this guy right here. So, thank you all once again, and until next time, farewell, Ranger fans, and let the power protect you. Oh, and I hope you all enjoy Power Morphicon Online. Hope it's fun.